All right, I'm gonna be seated for this because I'm a little nervous in front of crowds. My legs are shaking. So if my face gets red or if I start stuttering, just roll with it. I just made this presentation last night. I finished at midnight. It took me like 30 minutes. I will say, during vacations and stuff, I really don't take many pictures at all, so I kind of combined some from my first trip and my second trip. This is going to be only like 13 or 14 slides. I'll tell a couple stories and talk about it, but then the second half is mainly just questions or anything you guys want to know, so didn't really prepare too much for it, just kind of winging it. But thanks for everyone who's here. I appreciate it. All right, so I'll talk about the travel first, because the travel was the most insane thing I've ever gone through. I lived in Florida for a year, and that was like my longest travel time was 6 hours. This was insane. The flight to Seattle to Singapore was 17 hours. And this trip, when I got to Singapore, there was a delay on the tarmac by 15 minutes, which made us miss our connecting flight, which turned into a 21-hour layover in Singapore. Luckily, Singapore is beautiful. We didn't end up leaving the airport or anything. They accommodated us with a hotel and food and everything, which was awesome. The Singapore airport is a giant mall. It's 5 stories, huge dome, ton of things to do, ton of places to eat. A lot more expensive than in Thailand, where I went. But some of the pictures from, so this is all inside of the airport in Singapore. So at night they do light shows. This is just a giant fountain. There's trees, there's plants, everything throughout the airport. It's beautiful, very busy and packed, but it was nice that our hotel was in the airport, so we kind of just wandered around, drank beer, and kind of just hung out. It wasn't a bad layover or anything. The flight from Singapore to Phuket, which is where I stayed at the whole time, is only 2 hours away. It's like 15-hour car ride, so we just decided to hang out instead of worrying about that. And then we finally get to Phuket. This is my second year in a row going. Last year I went with my buddy Isaac, who I've known since 2nd grade, and then his mom, which has been like my second family since then. We went last year and we did a lot more excursions. This year we kind of went and it was just Isaac and I, and then his girlfriend ended up coming the second half, and his brother as well. So we did a lot less excursions this year, which was kind of nice because those can get expensive there. But things we did were different boat rides to a couple different of the islands around there, which was cool because it was an all-day thing. Some of the islands that we saw, they filmed movies there, like one of the King Kong movies they filmed on there. There's a popular island called Monkey Island, and literally just monkeys all over the island. You can see them. The other excursions right here is the Big Buddha. It's about 45 meters tall. You can pretty much see it anywhere you're at in Phuket. But this time, last year, when I went, it was closed. There was a huge landslide. Unfortunately, a handful of people passed away from it, so they had it shut down for a little over a year. So last year we didn't get to go. It's on top of this giant mountain. It is huge. It is a very religious site. Inside of it, they have monks in there and they do blessings and everything. This year when I went, I got to do a blessing and everything, which was a cool experience. I'm not really much of a religious person, but like visiting these other countries and stuff and like learning about their religion and just kind of respecting their culture is an awesome feeling. It's very humbling. This one right here, this is Old Town Phuket. Throughout Phuket, there's a lot of night markets, which is one of my favorite things there. It is literally just hundreds of stands. It's just, they sell food, clothing, you name it. The food is extremely cheap there. They use baht for their currency, So $1 is around 33 baht. And I'll show you pictures later of food that I got. But I mean, you could get a full meal with drink and everything for about 90 baht. And that's like $3 here. And the portions are huge. And it's very, very clean tasting food. Like I said, I didn't take a lot of pictures, so those are my random little sunset pictures. One of them was on one of the boat rides. They have a sunrise boat ride and then a sunset boat ride. Last year I went on both of them. This year I did the sunrise one. That last picture, the place we stayed at, it's just kind of like an Airbnb down there. It's about a 5-minute walk to the beach, which was really awesome. That's that little sunset picture. I'm sure there's a lot of new faces here this last year, but last year when I went to Thailand, there was a huge earthquake. That actually happened while I was there. I forgot the name of the movie, but they made a movie because Phuket is kind of an island, so just surrounded by the ocean. And their biggest thing is tsunamis. So we were like stressing about tsunamis. I remember Paul texting me and Andrew texting me. A bunch of people were worried here, and my mom was blowing up my phone. Luckily, it didn't hit us or anything. There was no tsunamis, and we were all good. But yeah, it was really cool living like right next to the beach. Last year, more so, I would go out and go running and stuff, and they have a couple of the fight camps right on the beach, and they would do training on the beach and everything, and just a really cool like environment to be in. Phuket specifically is very like fitness oriented, so there's a street called Fighter Street, and it is literally just Muay Thai gyms, boxing gyms, MMA gyms, all on the street. They have supplement stores and clothing stores to get like gloves and Muay Thai shorts and everything. And it was a really cool experience because the main reason why we went to Phuket last year and this year was to train Muay Thai fighting. I don't do it currently here and stuff. Financially, when my finances get a little bit better, I would love to start training. Not for any actual fights, but I think it teaches you a lot of discipline, and it's just it's a nice way of working out. It changes, it's a little bit different. And I grew up always watching fighting and everything, and so just the fighting culture is really awesome. And to travel somewhere where they take it really serious was a really cool experience. We saw a lot of live fights there. And I mean, they start anywhere from like 6, 7, 8 years old, and they're training, and it is very, very hot and humid there, and all the gyms are outside. So like when we're training, it's all outdoors for a couple hours. They have multiple classes each day, and it's just training. That's what everyone does there. Sweating is a really, really cool environment to go to, especially because we're specifically going for that. One of the other cool things, which I think maybe you have seen elephants at the Oregon Zoo, which was awesome, but they have a lot of different areas where they have elephants. We specifically went to this one. This was my second year going to the same one. A lot of the places where they show elephants and stuff, they don't take the best care of them. They're in cages. They let you ride them, touch them, which is not good for the elephants. We went to this rescue place, so they rescue elephants from either other elephant enclosures, or some of them, I think they had like 12 or 13 elephants there. Some of them were injured in different like bad weather, or like a couple of them were from circuses that they got rescued from. So I forgot how many acres this place is. It is huge, but they let the elephants just roam around. They have staff on 24/7 taking care of them and feeding them and making sure they're all good. So it was a really cool experience to go see that. We got to feed them bananas and hang out with them for the day, learn about them. That was a cool experience just because you never really get to be that close with elephants. That was awesome. These are some pictures of the temples. It is a very religious place there, so anywhere you go, there's different temples and their churches that they do. The main religion there is Buddhism, so they have a lot of different temples, and just places you can go to learn about it. I just took a couple of pictures of the main temples, but there's hundreds of them throughout there. All the artwork in there and the statues are gorgeous in person. It is a kind of a touristy place. I think the cool thing about going to these other places where religion is such a big thing is just respecting their religion. So like taking your shoes off and socks off, like when you're going into places, whether it's like one of the temples or even just a lot of like the stores that you go to, it's just a respect thing. So you're not walking in with your shoes and stuff. But that was a really cool experience, being like covered, mostly for women. It's being covered, like not showing knees or elbows or anything like that. It was just a really cool experience to go there. There's lots of monks that kind of walk around these places and bless them constantly, and I'll show you with my tattoos and stuff. I got Sakyant tattoos, and they're traditional tattoos. They do them by bamboo. To get a traditional Sakyant, you get them done by monks or ajahns. Ajahns are kind of like teachers who are like learning to be monks eventually after a handful of years. But my first tattoo there was done by a monk, and then this last one was done by an ajahn, so someone training. These are some of the islands I went to on the boat tour. This one right here at the very end, that whole area is like a shark breeding area, so you're not allowed in the water at all. It is gorgeous though. Just having beaches like that, I mean the hot weather, the sand feels amazing, the water is clear. On some of the boat rides we got to like scuba dive, which was cool because I've never really done that. Not a big swimmer, I learned that. One of the other boat tours that we did, it was like this giant yacht, and we literally just got to chill on there the whole day. They provided food and free drinks and everything on there, and it was just a very like that was like more of the vacation aspect of my trip. Most of the other time we were just training or eating and going to watch fights. It was really like fight oriented this last time. Some of the food, I put these two pictures here for a reason. I literally ate this. I was gone for 2 weeks. I probably ate this like 3/4 of the time. These fried wings and that garlic beef and rice was the best tasting food I've ever had. It was extremely cheap. All of this was around 120 baht, which is $4 US. And you get water with that, and I mean it is some of the cleanest, and just I didn't get sick at all. This last time I did get sick, but it was more like cold sick. Both times I went, I didn't feel like any sickness from the food or anything. Everyone's really clean there, and yeah, the food is one of the best parts. And some of my other food that I got, pineapple fried rice inside of a pineapple was sick. Since we did a lot of our training and stuff in the mornings, it was really important for us to go to like some of the cafes and get some caffeine. A lot of yogurt bowls and just lighter breakfast. And then right after training, they had a bunch of supplement stores like right on Fighter Street, and we'd get like mass gainer shakes, like protein shakes, and then either that the wings and the garlic beef or pad thai was amazing there. Their spice level is way different than ours. They ask you if you want it spicy or not spicy, and if you say spicy, it is extremely spicy, not enjoyable spicy. But yeah, I'd say the food was like top 3 best things about Thailand. I highly recommend it. The 7-Elevens is a huge thing in other countries, like Japan, especially in Thailand. Like our 7-Elevens, they have like, you know, you just go there for like quick snacks. We probably went to 7-Eleven multiple times a day. They have like full food. They have like, they cook your food in there and everything. The different like exotic like drinks and snacks. I brought a bunch home for my mom to try and Emily to try, and it was super fun. I went this time with an empty suitcase, specifically to buy a bunch of clothes because they're extremely cheap. and then snacks, because you can't get them anywhere. The 7-Elevens were also super important because they sell like different hydration drinks, and since it is so hot and you're just training outside, it's really good too. I mean, people pass out all the time there just because they're not equipped for it. We literally would stop by 7-Eleven right before training, get a hydration drink, go train, go back to 7-Eleven, get another one. But yeah, the 7-Elevens there are super awesome. I didn't take any pictures of it, I don't think, but well, they got cut off, but those are some of like random drinks and snacks and stuff from there. They got cut off too, but that's beer. Their main beer, which is my Jersey, Chang. So they don't have any Modelos or Coronas there or anything. It's Chang and Singa. Really, really good beers. Wish I brought some back home. Coconut water. Nothing too fancy. Like I said, I'm not really a picture person when it comes to these trips. Most of these pictures were just to send to my mom and Emily while I was gone. And then for the Muay Thai fighting, they host events like 3 or 4 times a week. There's a bunch of different gyms throughout Thailand. Phuket specifically is a pretty big touristy area for like Australians, Russians. A lot of people will fly out there just to train. A lot of the camps do like, you go there for a few months and you live on the camp. So your housing and your food is all included usually, and you're just right on the gym mat, so you literally wake up and train all day. A lot of these fights that we saw were literally people coming down for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and just training for most of it, and then having their first fight or reoccurring fights. So we definitely saw a lot of those. This is a really bad picture of it, but this is the gym I trained at the whole time. It's outdoors. Last year we found this gym called Rawai, and it is a smaller gym right outside Fighter Street. A lot of the other camps on Fighter Street are pretty like popular and really mainstream, so you don't get as much like personal training. Tiger Muay Thai is a huge gym down there. A lot of MMA and UFC fighters that fight on UFC cards will travel down there and go train with some of like the best coaches out there. We went to Rawai last year and we loved it. The teachers there were awesome, so that's why we decided to go back there this time. This time we were able to train a lot more, and I got to do one-on-one training. That's what I did majority of the time. I did a couple group trainings where there's like 10 or 15 of us, and it's a couple-hour class, and we kind of do circuits and then pad work and then sparring. This time I did mainly one-on-one training, so I got to work with the same trainer pretty much the whole time, and we sparred a lot. I got beat up a lot, and got kicked in the head a couple times, which was awesome. My coach kept on trying to sign me up for one of the fights, but we were only there for a couple weeks, and I'm almost 30, but in fighting world, that's almost like that's over your prime. You know, it's mostly like lower to mid 20s that those are like your prime years. I did tell him if I go back, I don't know if I'll go back this year, but maybe next year, I will potentially stay a little bit longer and do a fight. So we'll see how that goes. Huh? Oh, I'll come back. The nice thing about being super skinny like myself is the weight class that I'm in right now is like kind of a perfect weight class for a first-time fighter, but just being there and stuff, because we watched some of the heavyweights fight, and it is no joke. I mean, these are some big boys fighting. But around like 145 is kind of a perfect weight class for a beginner. So my coach kept on trying to get me to do a fight. I just thought it was too short notice and wasn't really prepared. Just because I don't do any training like while I'm here and stuff, it's just been the training down there. Like I said, I would love to start training. There's a camp right in Washington, actually only like 15 or 20 minutes away. The camp I trained at for a few weeks, like years ago, with one of the guys my dad used to know, Austin Springer. He still owns the camp and everything, and he still fights out there. So potentially this year I might start getting actually into training, so then the next time I go I'll be a little bit more prepared, because cardio is no joke there, especially in the humid weather. I mean, they have us jump roping for 20 minutes, and the last time I jumped rope was in grade school. So I mean after a couple minutes it is killer, and all outside, so it is a bit rough. But yeah, the training and stuff was a huge part of this trip. Definitely something that every time we go, I mean, that's kind of like the main reason we're going. The excursions are awesome, especially if you've never been there, but I mean, really it's worth the plane ticket. It was about $1,000 for the plane ticket to get there and back, which really isn't that bad for a couple weeks. It is totally worth it, even just to go train for a couple weeks. Other things about like how much it costs down there, our Airbnb last year, it was $300 for my portion for 2 whole weeks. So I mean, you go to Airbnbs here and it's like anywhere from $150 to $300 a night. So really cheap to live down there. It's just expensive to get down there. All the excursions kind of added up last year, and then this year we stayed at a little bit of a nicer Airbnb because there was a couple more people, and we had a little like villa which had like 3 different sections, so 3 different bedrooms and a little pool in the front. This one was a little bit more expensive, but it was $700 for 2 weeks, which still isn't that bad at all. So very cheap. The food's cheap. Everything's cheap about it. The training, it was like $15 a day for the group sessions, and probably around like 30 or so for the one-on-ones. So when you're doing that every day, it adds up, but realistically, if you just plan ahead a little bit, it was perfect. Still recovering financially from this trip. It was a little bit more expensive. I think it was because we were stuck in Singapore both ways, so on the way there and then on the way back we had 20+ hour layovers each time. So Singapore was a lot more expensive to hang out in, and on our way back, our layover, we didn't get accommodated at a hotel, so that hotel was like $600 for one night. Split between 4 people, so it wasn't terrible. I slept on the ground though, so it wasn't that good. The super awesome and why we went when we went this year was Songkran, which is their New Year's. And I wish I could have taken some videos. I had one video, but it's a water festival. It was something you can't even imagine. Literally every street you go down in like in Phuket specifically, but all of Thailand does it. They have different events that they do, but specifically in Phuket, every street, there's people walking around with water guns. On the side of the roads, there's big buckets of water for like refilling your water guns. There's little kids running around throwing water balloons, running around with squirt guns. Everyone participates in it. There's a couple rules, you know, if you're driving, you're not supposed to spray them, and if there's any like monks or elderly, you're not supposed to be spraying them as well. A bunch of tourists actually got arrested because they saw a water festival and they kind of took advantage of that and was taking advantage of it and dumping it on and inside cars and everything. And it was terrible. I think tourists can sometimes ruin the good things that other places have. But this year it was so awesome because all day we just, for like 8 hours, and you'll see my sunburn when I show you the picture of my tattoo there. I got burnt. We were outside for like 8 hours, and it was literally just spraying people with water. We just stayed on Fighter Street because it is just a one street and tons of things to do. They had like live music out there, food, drinks, so we were just walking down the street drinking, literally spraying people with squirt guns. And everyone was so happy. It wasn't just tourists there, it was the locals and everything, and you could just tell like that was just, it was a beautiful thing to experience because like everyone was just having fun. And we bought water guns at the little convenience store right there, and as we were doing that, this like group of little kids come up and just start spraying us. No matter what, if you're outside, you're pretty much joining in. So that was a super awesome experience. They also had like paint that they were walking around with and like covering you in paint and stuff. I was drenched. I couldn't even take my phone out to take pictures and videos really because it was gnarly. Yeah, so this year was awesome to experience the Songkran Festival. From my understanding, they do it every year. Last year we went like a couple weeks before it happened, so we didn't get to experience it, but that was well worth like going when we did this year. All right, for my tattoos, this is pictures from the first time I went. Me and my buddy Isaac, actually, we got matching ones on our hands. I had zero intention on going and getting, I've always just said I would never get anything on my neck or my hands or anything like that. Something just told me to get something on my hands. It was truly a beautiful experience. Like, again, I'm not a very religious person, and my tattoo artist, he was a monk, and he doesn't really speak any English or anything like that. So some of it, I didn't understand the full blessing that they were giving and stuff, but reading about it was super awesome. It was a very like emotional thing. So with the traditional Sakyan tattoos, it's all done by bamboo, and it translates to sacred tattoo or magical tattoo. And what they do is, once you start, these are gifts. So in order to get a tattoo, you're supposed to bring gifts to your Ajahn or monk, and it could be anything. I brought him flowers and cigarettes because everybody in Thailand smokes cigarettes, and a couple other little blessing pieces. So we go in there and you give them the gifts, and they do a blessing for it. And after they're done with the tattoo, there's these little like gold pieces they put over it, and then he does a blessing. Pretty much for the Sakyan tattoos, it's certain like basic ethical rules that you live by, and in order for the magic for the tattoo and the blessing to work, you're supposed to follow those rules. They're all pretty basic things, like not killing things, people, and insects, which is insane because I can think of 1,000 times you see a spider, you stomp on it. Last year when I went after this, it totally changed my perception of just taking things. So for even just like the bugs and stuff, like just thinking it's another like living thing, and to not just freak out. So even like Emily and I now, if we see something, we take it outside. Or we're making sure we're like being more mindful of that kind of stuff. The other ethical rules are just like basic things like not killing, be good to your mom and dad is one of them. It only lists mom, but family and stuff. And yeah, so it was a really cool experience to do that. This one didn't really hurt. This only took 45 minutes, but it was a beautiful feeling to have that done and just being able to do something with their culture and everything. And plus, like, I do have all my tattoos mostly on my arms right now, but they're always like remind me of like where I was at in life and stuff. I started getting them at 18, like right when I turned 18, I got my first one, which is the cards on my hand, and each one just reminds me of where I was at in life. And even if they don't have like a specific meaning or anything, I can look at them. I mean, they're for me, so I can look at them and see how much growth I've had. Most of the stuff on this right arm was right before a very like tough time in my life and stuff. So seeing like how far I've come after that, it's just a good reminder to keep on going and remember the bad times and like learn from them. So this was a good start to kind of like a transformation and a much more positive outlook on life, and just trying to not take things for granted like I did before. All right. This is really like, it's a swollen picture. You can't really see my sunburns on the side. This one was And I have like tattoos on my elbow and like the inside of my arm and on my wrist. Those hurt really bad. This was by far the most painful experience I've ever had. This took almost 7 hours. It sounds crazy. It's not like insanely big, but there's so much detail when you're doing it with a bamboo stick that's like a couple feet long, and you have someone like standing over you, like just one at a time poking you. He did like kind of like, it was like his one-of-one design. Traditionally, these are done all black ink, but he wanted to add some red into it and change up some of the symbols. This one is for basic protection. The ones on my hand, I forgot to say, is for good luck and prosperity. So each line has different meanings. I didn't save any pictures of like other traditional ones, but this is kind of like a traditional start to the back tattoo. The next time I go, it is extremely cheap to get tattoos down there, and that's why I kind of save up and wait for that. This only cost a few $100 if you were to get that here. For one, it wouldn't be like authentic, and it'd probably be anywhere from like $1,000 to $1,500 to get something like that. This was also a really beautiful experience, even though it was the most painful experience. I had no headphones. It was extremely hot in the tattoo place. You kind of had to, and all my other tattoos, I was able to watch them do it and kind of like get distracted by it. This one, I was like in like a, I don't even know, salon chair, like a massage chair, kind of hunched over, and this guy is like right above me, just jabbing me, so I can't see anything. But I really had to dig deep to get it finished. I did have to take a handful of breaks, you know, like 10-15 minute breaks, because it was brutal, but it kind of got you in like, I mean, all I had was my thoughts, and it was something like I thought I couldn't finish. Even after like the first hour, I was like, I don't even know how I'm gonna complete it. So I kind of had a battle with myself, and it was truthfully a beautiful experience to go through. After he was done with this, he did the same blessing. It was a little bit different. I didn't take any videos of it, but he put a mask over me and did a blessing, lit incense and everything, and it was a really cool experience for this one. You want to see it? I'll show you it after my questions. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think this is my last one. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't take any crazy pictures, so I apologize for that. Mainly just like stories, and it was really just to go to train and hang out. So for me, like that was my vacation. It was nice to decompress from work and reality back here, and just kind of go do something that I enjoy doing. So that's all my pictures and everything. So obviously my hair is a lot longer here. You guys all remember my mullet, but yeah, I just got this cut, which is kind of nice because then you can see like the top of my tattoo, but not yet. All right, I see Steve all the way down.
Lots of interesting things went on, but talk just a second more about your training. Was this an organized routine for a type of fighting, or boxing, or wrestling, or anything goes?
Yeah, so more about my training and what type of fighting it was. It was it was all Muay Thai fighting there. The cool thing about the Fighter Street is there's gyms for literally everything: kickboxing, regular boxing, jiu-jitsu, just basic MMA. Muay Thai is one of the biggest things there. Muay Thai fighting, it's no like submission. I don't know, everyone's familiar with different styles of fighting. This one's mostly stand-up fighting, so kicks, elbows, teeps, which is like pretty much kicking just like your front just to get space, punching. There is clinching and stuff, but when someone gets like thrown on the ground or if you get knocked down, the fight kind of stops right there. So all of my training was just that. It was a lot of pad work. The awesome thing about doing the one-on-ones was one day of training we would learn something, and then the next day when we go back we didn't have to like redo anything. It was just like progressing each time. A lot of the group training, it's just people trying to get a workout for the day, and you kind of go through like the same drills. So the one-on-ones were awesome. For whatever reason, my buddy Isaac and I, we did one-on-ones. We had different trainers at the same time, and for whatever reason, my trainer wanted to spar almost every single time. So that sparring is just, we did 4 rounds, like 5 minutes of just like fighting. Not at 100%, but probably around like 75%. But an actual like fighting, not just drills or anything. So that was probably the most fun thing, just because I don't have a lot of like fighting experience. So as crazy as it sounds, even getting hit, like it's a part of the game. So being able to like feel that, and like a lot of people when their first fight, my dad used to always tell me this, a lot of people lose their first fight because they've never been hit. So you're in like shock and you don't know how to react. And I definitely got hit a lot there. I got kicked in the head a couple times and banged up. I have like pictures of like bruised knees just from like pad work and just like kneeing and stuff. Like it is definitely like a very disciplined sport, but so awesome and so rewarding, and just it feels good. It feels like not much meditating because it's not like a calming thing, but like afterwards you just feel a sense of like relief and like clarity. So hopefully that answered your question, Steve. Anybody got any questions? Carla.
I have a question about the elephant preserve. Did it cost you to get in there, or does the government support it?
So this one, a lot of the other ones and stuff, you do pay, and it goes not necessarily to help out like the elephants, but I mean pay employees and just like keeping it up. This place you did pay, but all of it gets donated straight back to, I forgot how the exact amount in baht it is to even just on the daily like feed them and even get new elephants in, because they, from last year when I went to this year, they expanded a lot, but they're actually having to relocate within a couple years. So the amount of money it costs to do that is really expensive. So we do pay to get in, but it all goes towards funding that. Same thing with the gift shop, like that's right out front, all of that goes straight into there. They have a lot of volunteers that come in and people who've been running the reserve like the whole time. So it was really cool to go to this one. We specifically like wanted to look into one that, you know, doesn't abuse the animals. I mean, even keeping them in cages and not letting them roam free. I mean, they're huge animals, and to be locked up and even to be like rode on and stuff. You can see a lot of these rescue elephants, they have different like injuries that you can see from the past, like the ones that came from like the circuses and stuff. You can see those indents on where like they put, I don't know what it's called, a little elephant saddle. You can see like indents on there. You can see marks. You can see like some of the, I think the males have like small tusks. You can see them like cut off. A lot of them have, you know, half of an ear. So a lot of injuries and stuff, but it was really cool to find a place that like genuinely took care of them and like cared about that. Bev? Oh yeah, I'll save back for last thing. I'm gonna switch into a baggy shirt, so then my special guest Glenn can come up here and reveal it. Mac?
I noticed one of your pictures showed us more of a standard boxing ring. Is most of the training for your fighting in a ring, or is it on one of those cages, or do you also work on a mat like a wrestling mat or NCAA collegiate wrestling or something of that nature?
Okay, so did I do most of my training in like rings or on mats? So you can't really see, oh, you can kind of see it in the back. There is a ring at the gym that I trained at. Most of like our pad work and stuff was just done on like wrestling mats. They have bags everywhere that we do. My trainer, because the times that we were doing like one-on-ones, there wasn't any other classes going on, so I did all my training pretty much in the ring, which was kind of a cool experience, especially when we were sparring and you're, you know, trying to fight your trainer. It's kind of nice being in the setting in the ring. These pictures over here are like some of the fights that we actually went to. So they were like fight cards. There'd be anywhere from like 8 to 12 fights, different weight classes. Sometimes it was people's first time fighting, and then they do champions and everything there. Most of the fighting that we saw was Muay Thai, because that's the biggest. We did see a couple fights where it's MMA, so it's like groundwork and submissions, but all of it was done in the rings. Most of my trainings were done in the ring. Yeah, it's all barefoot. All you got is little Muay Thai shorts on. The Muay Thai shorts are pretty small. And it's all outside, so you're just sweating. So yeah, I mean, it's quite the workout. Yeah, so for like training and stuff, it's just Muay Thai shorts. Some people wear shin guards or like shin wraps. No shoes or anything like that. And then we wrap our hands so we don't break our wrist. And then boxing gloves. Yeah, so there's different, if you're sparring, you're supposed to wear a little heavier boxing gloves, like 12 ounces or 14 ounces. I bought 10-ounce gloves there, so they're a little bit lighter. But even during like all the fights, the Muay Thai fights, it's all done with boxing gloves. And so they're a little bit heavier, but.
And you're, what, trying to hit each other, knock each other out?
Sweating, drenched, yeah.
Yeah, like you're, yeah.
I mean, it's like one of those like movies, I don't know if you like Rocky or Creed, like where someone gets hit and you just see all this, I mean, that's how it is, because all you're doing is, I mean, you just got done like jump roping for 15-20 minutes, and then you're doing some pad work, and then you're sparring. So it's like, it's just, yeah, just like boxing. Except this one, lots of kicking, lots of elbows, and no protection.
Are they respectful like other?
Like as far as like how powerful you're going against each other?
Not when you fight, but I know when kids take what do they take? Karate, they go and learn to do this, they're respectful.
Oh, like, oh, okay. Yeah, so just because it's such a big thing there, all of our trainers and stuff, I mean, some of these trainers have been there for 10, 15 years doing the same thing. It is all respecting at the end of the day. So like afterwards and stuff, we say thanks to everybody, and not so much of a blessing, but we make sure we're appreciative and we show it. I don't have a video of it, but if you do a fight in Thailand, there's a dance that they do, and right before the fight starts, I wish I had the music. They play the same music, and they do a like kind of like a dance, a blessing, like around the ring, and all it is showing like thanks to your coaches. Some of the tourists and stuff, they don't do that because either they don't have coaches or their coaches aren't just from Thailand, so it's more of like a Thailand thing, I think, that they do that. But yeah, there's a lot of respect for that. Glenn?
So, will you be going back, and if you do an excursion, do they have Muay Thai up in Chiang Mai? Because those night markets, you've never seen so much food on a stick in your life.
Oh, it's insane.
Those are amazing. And right outside of Chiang Mai, Elephant Nature Park. I mean, the best day of my whole life was spending my day in the river just with the elephants playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll also sell you dog if you like dog.
I do.
They sell in the streets. Did you try it?
I've tried it twice.
Would I go back? Absolutely. I think my buddy Isaac, he wants to take a break. I probably wouldn't go to Thailand without my buddy Isaac, just because the last 2 years it's kind of been our thing, and he kind of needs a year break from it as well. Maybe in a couple years I'll go back. I think this next year I really want to venture out somewhere else. Maybe Japan, if I can scoop up the finances for that. But yeah, Emily and I really want to go to Japan, so we're gonna try to save up for that.
Someone,
Oh. Are you okay? Roxy?
Yeah, I was curious about the monks. Do they have tattoos
The monks?
themselves, or do they start doing it to pass on their teachings?
Yeah, so the monks are, let me see if you can. Yeah, from like head to toe. I mean, it's kind of hard to see in the back, but I mean, fully covered in tattoos. The guy who just did,
look at his leg.
the guy who just did my back tattoo, he had the same like Sakyant lines, like these lines and different designs of it, all over his body, like his stomach, everywhere. Like the amount of tattoo shops there is a lot of tattoo shops there. You kind of have to do your research to find one if you want it authentic and buy a monk or an Ajahn. So like this one, we had to travel like an hour and a half away to get these ones done because we specifically wanted to go to a monk and get like the authentic experience for our first one. This last one, luckily he was on Fighter Street, which was perfect because it was pretty much walkable. The other big thing about Thailand, which was super awesome, was they have an app called Grab, which is pretty much our Uber, but they travel by moped. Like, I'd say like 75% of the people there travel by mopeds. So we would be at our Airbnb and someone would come pick you up on a moped and then you drive 15, 20 minutes to your destination. And that was a cool experience, a little scary, but there's not much traffic laws where we were at. So it's kind of a free for all on the road, but I'm back, so I think it's okay. Any other questions? Yes.
What got you interested in going to Thailand the first time?
It's actually a crazy story. I had zero interest in going. I didn't even think about it at all. I've never even like heard of like why people go there or anything like that. Isaac, who I went with, he went like 2 years ago by himself for the first time, and he went down there to just train Muay Thai, and he absolutely loved it. And then last year when he was talking about it, he was like, "You want to go?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" I'm pretty like, it doesn't take me much to just say yes. Like when I moved to Florida, it was a super random thing, and a couple months later, I just packed a suitcase and left. So I'm not really like stuck on anything. I'm totally up for like trying new things like that. It was one of those things that I knew I was going to enjoy the training and the experience, and it was my best friend I was going with, so I kind of just said, you know, why not? So happy I went there though, just because, like I said, I had no idea about anything in Thailand, and just learning the culture a little bit more, and just, it was a beautiful experience, and somewhere like I can just envision myself going to like for the rest of my life. So I know a lot of people move down there because it's extremely cheap. I'm plenty of years away from that, but yes. This one is more for basic overall protection. A lot of fighters actually get this just to like protect yourself in the ring. You know, it is a very dangerous sport, obviously, and you know, anything could happen. You'll see a lot of fighters there have not necessarily the same, but somewhat of the same design there. That one's more overall for just protection of anything, which I think is a awesome feeling to have, especially if you're trying your best to improve your life and live more ethically. Yeah.
What is the language of Thailand?
Thai. Yeah. I only learned about 3 words there, so it's very overwhelming. There's obviously a handful of places because it is a little bit of a touristy spot where there is English and stuff. A lot of it is just pointing. So pointing at the menu, or you know, it was a little bit difficult at times, but yeah. Mac?
I'm wondering about the needles when you speak of the bamboo.
Yeah, they have tattoo guns with the little needle at the end, and it
Is
just,
it a different process with the bamboo?
yeah. When I just went and he was setting up, it was probably like an hour setup time because you have to like stencil it out and fit it to my back and everything. And then this guy pulls out these long bamboo sticks and he starts like shaving them there. And then he's like lighting the ends on fire to make sure it like there's no like splinters or anything. He's literally like making the bamboo sticks right in front of me. And then he just starts. So he puts it in a little bit of ink and then he just starts poking. Same process. In the States, they do have over there too, like you can get them tattoo gun, it's just not the authentic experience. So I kind of went with that. Here with the tattoo gun, it's literally you dip it in some ink and you can it's just like drawing. You might have to go over it a couple times, but it's just drawing. This one is a lot different because it's literally just poking over and over and over. Yeah, so it was quite the experience. Any other questions?
Did you do this as a youngster, and was it your dad that brought you in?
For like fighting? I would say growing up, my parents got divorced really early on, and when we'd go over to my dad's house, my brother and I, we were really, really into the WWE, or the WWF, if anyone remembers that. But my brother and I just like grew up watching fighting. We would fight all the time. And then when I started getting a little bit older, I started really getting into UFC, which is mixed martial arts. So I've kind of always enjoyed watching fighting. I've never really done it as like a kid or anything. And then, yeah, when I got into my 20s, when I worked at a bar, there's a UFC fighter, Ricky Simone, he's from Vancouver. I went to school with his brother, and he came in to our to the bar, and we had a private party for him when he got introduced into the UFC. So I think just like everything about like the fighting and like the different, UFC and even just like going there, I think it's awesome just to see everyone's like progression with it. And yeah, it's just like another fun way of working out. I don't know if I'll ever do a fight. We'll see the next time I go back. I know they do fights around like Vancouver and Portland, but like I said, I think my peak is a little over. I got a bad back, so. Yeah.
So was the fighting you did in Thailand the first you did, or did you do any here? And I have a second question.
So was it the fighting that I did in Thailand the same that I've done here?
Or have you done any?
Or have I done any? The only time I ever trained while I was here was probably like, how old am I? 29? Probably like 6 or 7 years ago. It was just for a little bit, maybe a month or so. My dad and I trained with a guy who was trying to get into the UFC, who lives here locally. So I did that, but no, I always just watch fight. I mean, me and my buddies would get together every Saturday night and watch the UFC fights, and we would all just talk about it, and always fascinated by it, just never really got into it in person. So that's why I was really excited to go the first time, just to be able to actually experience it and learn about it. And it was a humbling experience the first time, because you watch it all the time and you're like, oh, you should have done this or you should have done that. And when you're actually doing it, you're like, wow, 20 minutes of jump roping already got me done. So it was, yeah.
So one follow-up on your Muay Thai. Other disciplines like karate and taekwondo have these training forms, almost like dances, that you go through. Did you do any of that kind of thing in Muay Thai, or is it just free form kind of learning?
So was there any like different like training or anything from Muay Thai?
Yeah, like these.
Mainly it's like they'll teach you combos and stuff. So it might be like a couple kicks, elbow, and then punches, like all in the same cadence. They'll teach you that stuff. It's like one of those hard things, because like they'll teach you a bunch of different combinations, and then when we go sparring, you're kind of like, it feels more of a free-for-all, because if you try to follow the same combinations in a fight, when you don't know what your opponent's doing, you're gonna get hit, which I found that out. So I think like learning the combinations just while we're like training and like doing pad work and stuff was super awesome and helpful, just because it gives you different combinations if the opportunity comes. But as far as like when we're sparring and then even during like a real fight, it's more of like a fight or flight. Like you kind of have to like read off what your opponent's doing and kind of like pick up patterns. That's what I noticed. I think my trainer picked up my patterns and then took advantage of that. So it's like one of those things where like, yeah, like the combinations and the different like techniques kind of help for like building you up and stuff, but you kind of have to, yeah, just become one when you're sparring and stuff. What? Health insurance? Yeah, luckily a lot of like the camps and stuff, there's like medical places like right around there. Any of the fights that we went and saw and stuff, they have like medical team on standby, so yeah, they take it pretty serious over there.
Tanner, I just wanted to say something about spiders.
Spiders?
Yes, I'm regressing back to.
Oh yeah.
They're probably one of the most important animal insect in the world. So when you see spiders, just leave them alone.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
kill them.
Yeah.
They're very important for our environment.
I'll be the first to admit, I used to smash anything I saw, but now it's way, way different. So it's just cool like insight on like how to like change a little bit. Jojo?
What was the recuperation for the back taps?
It's insane, like while you're getting it, how much pain you feel and how terrible it feels, and your body is just going through so many emotions. I mean, it's like an open wound too. My whole back was swollen, red. I mean, it bleeds for a couple hours after. During it, terrible. I'm not even kidding you. Probably like 30 or 45 minutes after it was done, didn't hurt. It's sore to like to touch and like to sleep like the first like few days afterwards, especially with something being on your back. It's a little rough. I'd say the most rough part like after actually getting it is when it starts the healing process and you start to like scab a little bit, and especially on my back. I mean, yeah, you have to put lotion on it constantly to make sure it heals right. Make sure you're not getting infections on it, because that would be terrible. So making sure you're like washing it and cleaning it. But honestly, like afterwards and stuff, you like look back and you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. But during it, you're like, that's the worst thing I've ever experienced. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna quickly change into this baggy shirt, and then I can't fully take off my shirt. It's probably like a code against here, and my boss told me no, Emily. Give me 2 seconds.
We won't tell Emily, we promise.
It's being filmed.
Shut off your cameras.
Jesus, that's big.
Where did they start? Did they start at the top or did they?
On one side and work their way over.
Okay, so on one side, did they start the left or the right? Makes me hurt.
Thank you guys for all coming. Sorry I wasn't like super prepared. It was kind of just. Thank you for working with me. I was really nervous at first, but I think sitting down and just chilling, that was pretty good. So, thank you guys all for coming. That's so awesome to see all of you here. Thank you.